So today is World Obesity Day. The Association for Dietetics in South Africa says half of all South African adults are either overweight or obese, and around 50% of South African women will be obese by 2030. New research released by Discovery Vitality this week shows that Cape Town is the city with the healthiest weight, with Johannesburg coming in second. Let's discuss this now with Dr. Tobeka Boltina. She's the Director of Clinical, Medical and Regulatory Affairs at Novo Nordisk South Africa. Doctor, good afternoon and thank you very much for joining us. Firstly, talk to us about the significance of this day, World Obesity Day.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to be talking to you as we commemorate World Obesity Day. I think what's important is that the theme for this year is about changing perspectives and encouraging the talk about obesity. But I'm hopeful that the talk doesn't stop on the day when we commemorate the topic, but continues throughout the year. And the reason it's of importance is because of the significant burden it poses on different economies, on different health systems, including South Africa.
Now, we understand that obesity is considered one of the most complex diseases purely because of its link to other non-communicable diseases. Talk us through this and just the disease of obesity.
Obesity, as you say, is in itself a very complex disease. By definition, it's actually a disease that is serious and chronic meaning long-term in nature, and it's a metabolic disorder that presents itself by an accumulation of excessive fat, and that accumulation is usually around the waist. And if you look at the impact that has over time, it has impact on a number of health-related conditions, resulting in complications. But I did say that the theme is about changing perspective. One perspective that we do need to change is actually about obesity itself. I said it is a chronic disease, and by that, it means it's long-term in nature, needing to be treated long-term. It's also complex because it's beyond just a matter of eating less and moving more. But there are different factors at play which influence the outcome related to obesity.
What would be the telltale signs that somebody is obese? Just for the ordinary person who one would say could possibly be considered even ignorant, if you will, where you have a young child, maybe a 3-year-old child, you would think is a very healthy, chubby child. When would you know that now they've gone beyond being a healthy, chubby child to obese? What would be the signs you need to look out for?
Okay, if I may focus on adults at first, when you look for obesity, the measure that's commonly used is what is referred to as the body mass index, or BMI, which is basically your weight divided by your height squared. And when you look at the parameters that the BMI tells you of, it will give you an indication of whether you are underweight, of whether you are within what is regarded as normal weight. And if you are beyond 25 to 30, then you are regarded as pre-obesity or overweight. And then anything 30 and above would be categorized as obesity.
Now, the challenge. Many people would not necessarily go to get to know what is their BMI in most instances. So you're saying now this year being the year of changing perspectives, are you expecting to see a lot of more people going in to get checked to actually establish if they are obese, or as some would call it, just thick or chubby?
Yes, the topics or the conversations are actually meant to encourage that dialogue, because one of the challenges that people living with obesity face is that of stigma. So as part of the conversations, one hopes that we also deal with the stigma. We also teach individuals that they are not on the journey alone, but it's a community that's meant to support the process. And beyond the communities, it's also the workplaces, it's the schools, as you referred to, children, adolescents, and older. And it's also the workplaces and even the healthcare practitioners themselves who need to be educated about dealing away with the stigma and the discrimination that is often associated with obesity.
Doctor, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. That was Dr. Tobeka Boltina. She's a Director of Clinical, Medical and Regulatory Affairs at Novo Nordisk South Africa, talking to us there. To this story now,